Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the 14-day practical AI challenge where you stop guessing and you start prompting. I'm your host, Engineer Victory, and this training is being done by Zafar Academy. And it's been an amazing journey so far from day 1 to day 2 to day 3, day 4, day 5, and today we are on day 6. Whoa! Let's go on. So, what are we talking about today? Day 6. We're looking at something quite interesting, and you're not going to be sorry you tuned in for today. So today we are looking at generating and improving images with AI. We are looking at generating and improving images with AI. There's a lot of buzz out there of people using AI to generate images, generating photos, generating videos. And today we're going to look at how to do some of those things using the AI agents that are already out currently and available to you for free. So don't think you're gonna have to spend some money for a subscription or stuff like that. No, we're gonna use the free AI agents available to do all the generation, image improving, which we're gonna be doing. Our theme for today is seeing before creating, right? You have to see in your mind what you want to create before you can create it, right? You have to have that image in your mind already. All right, so let's begin. We're looking at today why most AI images look off, or why most AI images look awful, right? So we have vague prompts create vague images. If your prompts are vague and if your prompts are not tuned in for what you want, then you're gonna get vague images. That's what the theme for today is: seeing before creating. You have to be able to actually see what you want to create, be able to actually define the image you have in your mind. Then you'll be able to now write a prompt that reflects that image for AI to build it. The next thing is no context or story, right? When you're trying to generate an image, you should be able to provide a context and you should be able to provide a story. This goes in with restraints. AI works best when you have the content and the story of that image behind it, right? So for example, let's say you want to generate an image of a boy maybe playing in the sand. You have to be able to tell the context, provide the story of the boy, provide the story of the scene, provide the story that the image is trying to tell, right? So that the image is not just going to be generic, because there are 1,000 images that AI can generate of a boy playing in the sand, but all those images are not going to be able to portray the message you're trying to portray, or it will not portray the image you have in your mind. So you have to tell the context. You have to ask yourself, what context or what story do I want to portray with this image I'm trying to generate? Is it an image to generate laughter? Is it an image to generate happiness? Is it an image to push sadness or to generate empathy? You just have to be able to contextualize the image you want to generate. The next thing is missing technical photographic details. Missing technical photographic details. This is something which most people are not aware of. Generating images with AI, you have to at least learn a little bit about photography. You need to understand what white balance is. You need to understand what focus is. You need to understand the scene. You need to understand all these various things. You need to understand lighting, coloring, and all of these things, and how they come together to be able to affect the quality of a picture, right? Whether it's going to look like a vintage picture from the 80s, maybe it's going to look like black and white, something maybe from the 50s or the 60s, or maybe appear to be something cinematic, something more modern, something futuristic. You need to understand what are the camera settings that are needed to achieve this kind of photos. It doesn't mean you need to go and get a camera and start studying how cameras work. You can just watch a search tutorial online on how cameras work, or how various camera elements affect the output of a photo, right? The next thing is overloaded or conflicting instructions. You cannot give instructions for an AI agent to produce an image and the instructions are kind of overlapping, or the instructions are kind of overloaded. For example, you're telling the particular AI agent to generate an image of a zebra, and then in the same prompt you are saying that zebra has to be flying, right? the zebra has to be flagged. So it's kind of conflicting. If you want to generate a zebra that flies, zebras don't actually fly. For example, like generate an image of a zebra in its natural habitat flying. That's a conflicting prompt because zebras normally walk, they don't fly. And in their natural habitat, they are walking, they're in herds, and they are, drinking and eating grass and so on and so forth. If you want it to be able to actually fly, you need to actually contextualize it, and explain what you mean so that the AI agent can understand you and then generate what you're looking for. The next thing is ignoring composition rules, right? Composition rules, how the various elements blend together. The lighting, if you're trying to score this kind of photo, you're supposed to use this kind of lighting. If the scene is this kind of scene, for example, an outdoor scene, it should be natural lighting. An indoor scene, the lighting maybe should be this way. Maybe you're trying to sell a sad photo, the lighting maybe should be less bright and maybe something towards the maybe blue scale, something like that, right? So you just need to understand the composition, the various ways the elements of a photo need to be put together in order to achieve that particular look you're going for, right? You need to have an understanding of how all those things work. Then we have another thing is lack of iteration. Some people, when they are just using AI chatbots to build an image, they just give it a prompt and then that's all about it. They don't do any iteration. For example, the hair is off in your image, or maybe the eye is looking weird, or maybe the hand is pointing the wrong way. Keep prompting, keep iterating and asking AI to improve the photo. That way you get the best results. Maybe AI is going to understand you the first time, maybe it's not going to understand you. You have to prompt it a couple of times before you're going to get the ideal result which you're looking for, and that's something which you have to be aware of. And then the last thing we are looking at is style without substance. Style without substance. The style should match the substance in the image, right? The style you're looking for, the style you want to achieve should match the substance of the things. Now this is mainly for improving images. The style you're looking for should match the substance which is available in the image. If not, you're going to get something which is out of the picture, or maybe something which is unrealistic, right? Now let's look at the framework which we're going to be building today. Our framework for today's lesson is the visual framework. Visual, since we're dealing with images and image generation, visual looks, right? So V stands for viewpoint. V stands for viewpoint. Where is this image gonna be seen? Is this image gonna be seen at a magazine? Is this image gonna be seen in a textbook? Is this image gonna be seen on social media? Is it a personal image you just want to store in your gallery? Is it an image which is gonna maybe hang in your home? Maybe like you want to use it for memory, to serve as a store of memory, to capture the essence of something that happened in a particular time. Where would this image be seen? That's what the viewpoint covers. We have the intent. What is your intent behind this image, right? Are you trying to make this image for a professional purpose? Are you trying to make this image for a personal purpose? Are you trying to make this image maybe for a branding purpose? Are you trying to make this image maybe for a book purpose? What is your intent behind creating this image? What do you seek to achieve with this image? The next thing which we are going to cover is the style. Do you want the image to be a cinematic image? Do you want it to be a minimalistic image? Do you want it to be like a Victorian era image? Do you want it to maybe, for example, be local? Do you want it to be 90s era? What is the style you want your image to portray, basically? The next thing we are looking for, or we are looking at, is the use case. We're going to understand the use case more in the example, so I'm just going to skip that, and then we're going to go to the audience. Who is the audience of this particular image? Is it yourself and family? Is it maybe an employer? Is it maybe an HR? Is it maybe the world? Is it maybe children? Is it maybe adults? Is it maybe your loyal customer base? Who are they? What normally is common to them? Those kinds of things, right? You need to understand your audience. And then finally, lighting details. You need to understand lighting details is kind of like set aside because it's looking at image generation, but lighting normally falls under styling in a way, but you can also definitely put it aside. We have the lighting and the details, right? So the lighting, the details of the image, the way you want the image to look. For example, you may want it to be to have natural lighting, you may want it to have artificial lighting, you may want it to be blurry, you may want it to focus maybe on a particular subject and then have every other person blurred. Those kinds of things, you need to understand that, right? Let's look at a breakdown of our visual framework. We're looking at the viewpoints, and I'm just going to use the examples that are available here. The viewpoint for the breakdown here in this use case is a social media, right? So somebody may be trying to edit a photo for social media to paste it online. That's the viewpoint. Ask yourself, next element is the intent, right? What's the intent of this photo? Oh, a professional look, or it's a business photo, or it's for a magazine, it's for business, it's for branding purposes, it's to put in a photo album, it's to serve as a personal photo I'm gonna hang on my wall, it's to serve as maybe a wallpaper on my phone, or it's to serve as a screensaver, or this photo is going to be printed and pasted on a billboard, or it's going to be printed and used as part of elements in a textbook, right? You need to understand the intent. Then the style we have, it could be clean, it could be modern, aesthetic, maybe for a polished look. You could have it maybe 90s era, you could have it maybe deep and intense. It just depends on the genre, right? Maybe if you're looking for a cinematic image, maybe in a wildlife setting, or maybe you're looking for a cinematic image maybe from a classroom setting, maybe like the location is the US or maybe Africa, or maybe you just have a raw footage you're trying to edit to make it to appear more cinematic and to make it to appear more professional. Yeah, that's something you have to consider. What's the style in this image? And the intent is going to definitely guide the style, because for a particular intent there's a style in which the image is supposed to follow, right? And then we are going to have the use case. The use case here is a profile picture for an online professional platform. Now that's the use case example here. Another use case example could be it's a profile picture for your WhatsApp. It's a profile picture for a social account. Another use case could be, it just kind of takes the intent a little notch deeper to beyond the basic general use and purpose for the image, and takes it to basically where would this image be, or for what purpose would this image serve basically, right? So for example, it could be as part of an educational material in a textbook, and it's going to remain on a textbook, right? It could be part of a learning material, maybe on an application, or it could be part of a wireframe you're trying to use in a presentation, or part of a slide deck, right? So the use case just goes a notch deeper beyond the intent. And then we have the audience. The audience is key. The audience is very, very important, because the image is going to be tailored to your audience. If your audience is maybe, for example, people in their 80s, people in their 70s, and then you have another audience with people in their 20s and 30s, and you're trying to generate an image which is going to resonate with your audience, the elements of that image, or the way the image is going to be arranged, would likely be different for those two audiences. It may be the same image with the same elements trying to sell the same message, but the elements would have to be rearranged in a different way. Maybe, for example, you're trying to make a flyer to be able to resonate with people to buy more of a particular product which you're selling, right? So you need to be able to specify your audience so that the AI chatbot would optimize the design in a way that is going to be appealing to your audience, whether it's a group of moms, whether it's a group of dads, whether it's a group of teens, maybe it's a group of uni students, maybe it's you're trying to sell that image, maybe you're trying to use the image as part of a slide deck to sell a particular product, maybe to investors, right? And the investors are people who are in business, who are into finance, and maybe they are in their 60s, in their 50s, and they have a long history of experience in the business industry. That image would have to be tailored to them in a particular manner that's going to be appealing and is going to pull their attention, so that they're going to be interested to bite and then to basically do what you want them to do. And then finally, we have the lighting and the details. The lighting and the details, we're going to just leave all of this to AI and what is the right scene AI has to employ. But the important thing which you need to understand in this whole framework, you need to know your viewpoint, you need to know your intent, and then you need to know your audience and your use case. For the style and the lighting, for the style you can definitely decide and or determine the style, but for the various details, for example the lighting, for example the angle, the camera angle, for example the white balance, all those various things, the frame rate, all those various things could be determined by AI. You just need to be able to prompt it in the right way, providing your information so that you have all the so that the AI agent has all the necessary information it needs to be able to generate, first of all, a basic idea of what you're looking for, and then be able to now build you the kind of image which you want. I most of the time start my image generation process with a prompt. I don't start it directly by asking it, oh, build me an image for XYZ. Maybe I'm trying to build a flyer, maybe I'm trying to build something. I don't just go into AI and just be like, build me a flyer for this, for XYZ. No. I have a thinking process, right? I tell you what I want to do, I tell you what the flyer is for, and then I ask you to bring me a couple of ideas, because one flyer may not sell what you're looking for in the best way. So you could bring a couple of ideas. Basically, we're going to see that in the live prompting session, where I'm going to give you a deep dive into how I use AI agents to generate images and basically do a couple of these things, right? So let's move on to our prompt examples. We have, for example, you're trying to improve an image. Look at the example we have here. We have improve this profile photo to look professional, clean for LinkedIn. Keep it natural and realistic. This is a good prompt. It's not very deep, it's not very detailed, but nonetheless it's a good prompt, and it tells basically AI what the picture is, what the picture is for, and the style you want to employ. So it understands that this picture, it's a profile picture, and you're trying to use it on a profile platform, on a professional social platform, which is LinkedIn, and you want the picture to be natural and realistic, and you want the AI agent to improve it, right, to look more professional and clean, so that you're going to look more hireable, and the image is going to be more presentable to potential employers or to HRs who are out there looking for people. And one of the things which I would say is people's first contact with you is often your profile, and one of the things people tend to look at on your profile online is your image, the picture, whether it's a picture of you, whether it's a picture of something else. So that picture has to be good, like really, really good. Let's look at this bad example which we have here. We have make this image look nice. Make this image look nice, in my opinion, it's not a good prompt. It's like a bad prompt, because nice is not defined, nice is vague, there is no guidance, and there is basically no intent, right? You're not telling the AI agent what you want it to do. And most of the times when you just tell an AI agent make this image look nice, it may just spit out the same image to you. I've had AI do that to me a couple of times, where I prompted it to do something on an image, and maybe because my prompt was not specific enough, it just spat out the same image to me, and stuff like that happens. But you need to be able to prompt it correctly in order to avoid it spitting out maybe the same image to you when you're trying to improve an image or trying to get it to accomplish something, right? It's an iterative process. It's not just a one-stop shop where you do it and then you achieve what you want, then you're gone. No, you do it over and over and over again until you get what you're looking for, right? So you don't stop because you've gotten a response. You stop because you've gotten the response which you think is the most appropriate response for your use case, right? Depending on the resources you have, which is the particular tool and its power, and whether you're on a free subscription or maybe you're on a paid subscription, and so on and so forth, right? The next thing we're going to look at is this other prompt example. We have generate an image of the zebras eating grass in the savannah setting. Well, in a savannah setting, no problem. In daytime for a children's magazine, the image should be natural and cinematic. This photo, the photo generated by this image, in my opinion, would definitely sell to an organization like National Geographic, because you have clearly stated what you want from the image, right? And it should be of zebras in the savannah. You can definitely find zebras in the savannah, right? In the daytime, you can definitely find zebras in the savannah in the daytime. Finding zebras at night it's possible. But if you don't have some external source of lighting, then your image would likely be of poor quality, because shooting under the moonlight is not that bright, it's not that good. And even if you have like an immaculate camera which may have a crazy amount of capability and power and all of that, your image will not still be a very good image. So this is a really normal, natural image, and you could get something like this and use for your use case. Or maybe let's say you're trying to build a flyer for a particular purpose or a particular reason. I think those are some of the things which you're going to see how to generate with AI, right? Let's look at why this prompt works. It's clear. It provides a clear concept with specific expectations. It provides a clear context with specific expectations. So, and it's detailed enough, and it tells the AI agent what you want to receive from it, right? Let's look at the bad prompt. Give me an image of zebras. Give me an image of zebras. That's a really, really bad prompt, right? Number one, is too broad. Number two, there's no context. Number three, there's no target audience. Number four, no description of the scene or photographic information. You just want an image of zebras. Zebras could be at the zoo, zebras could be on the road, zebras could be in the savannah, zebras could be eating grass, could be eaten by crocodiles. Zebras, it could even give you a cartoonish image. You could maybe want a cartoon-like image, you could maybe want a drawing of a zebra, whatever, but you must be able to state what you want clearly and basically. ChatGPT is not it doesn't have the power to read your mind. AI chatbots don't have the power to read your mind. You have to be as distinct as you can be when writing your prompt, so it basically understands what you're trying to say, right? Now we're going to go to the AI mindset. First outputs are drafts, are not final results. So when you're using AI to build images, please understand that first outputs are drafts and they are not final results. They are not lasting results, right? That's not the end point of what you're trying to achieve. That's not usually the end. There is usually something else which you have to do. There's usually some other thing else which you have to, you have to keep prompting. That's why I said it's an iterative process. Maybe you have to improve your description, or maybe you have to improve your prompting in one way or another, just to get to that sweet spot. But anyhow, let's get right into our live prompt walkthrough, and I'm going to use the example which we had in our slide deck, which is like generate an image of zebras for a children's magazine. Let's go back to that prompt and then see what it said. No, it's this one. Yeah, it says generate an image of zebras eating grass in the savannah setting in daytime for a children's magazine. The image should be natural and cinematic. We are just going to use this particular prompt and then write it into our AI chatbot and then see what we are going to get, right? So we have it here. I'm using ChatGPT by the way for this particular run. We're also going to use Gemini's Google's banana, is it Gemini banana or AI banana, something like that. All right, let's go on. We say generate an image of zebras in a savannah setting during daytime for a children's magazine. The image should be natural and cinematic. So look at what we have said here. And cinematic. Generate an image of zebras, not zebra, of zebras in a savannah setting during daytime for a children's magazine. The image should be natural and cinematic. So I've been able to, number one, what's the viewpoint? It's a children's magazine. What's the intent? The intent here can be implied is I'm building it maybe for a business purpose, maybe for research, maybe for science, or maybe for, I can leave it out of my prompt as well as I include it, but the more information I add, the better results I am going to get, right? So we have the V, which stands for the viewpoint, and then we have I, which stands for the intent, and then our style. Our style is natural and cinematic. That's our style. The use case in our example here is the same as the intent, a children's magazine. The audience is definitely children because it's a children's magazine, and then the lighting is daytime, right? That's the lighting. There is no artificial lighting, there's no external lighting source. So let's see the result we are going to get from this. Well, ChatGPT didn't go straight to giving us an image, it rather gave us a prompt. So I'm gonna log out of this and then move into my signed in account, because sometimes doing this with ChatGPT and Gemini could be quite frustrating. That's when you're not logged in. So let's switch to my logged in account, and then we're going to do this. I'm first of all going to start with Gemini, and then I'm going to head over to ChatGPT and do the same with ChatGPT. So let's see the response we're going to get. It's going to take a while to generate that image actually, and we're just going to wait for a couple of minutes to see what results we're going to get. All right, so now these are the results we're going to get. This is the results we've gotten. The results is we have zebras walking up and down in the savannah in the daytime. We have 3 zebras. It's a children's magazine. In my opinion, is it aligned to what I had in mind? It's kind of aligned, but it's not very much aligned to what I had in mind, because I didn't intend to make a cartoonish image, right? I wanted it to be a realistic image, but still for a children's magazine. And so I have to inform you that this isn't what I was looking for, right? Now I'm just going to have to respond to this. That's why I said it's an iterative process. This is not what I wanted, so I'm going to have to prompt it to give me what I wanted, right? Let's do this. Please make the image realistic and cinematic, and not a cartoon, right? And not a cartoon. So let's see the results we're gonna get from that. So just while we are waiting to get those results, I want us to look at our framework again. That's our framework, the framework which we are using for this particular use case. Now this is one frustration. I'm just gonna go back over to Gemini so we can see the results which the new prompt generated from Gemini, right? So you see, it basically gives the same image, right? Now this could be quite frustrating with AI chatbots, because when you ask them to do something like this and then they could give you an output like this, is just crazy. This is crazy and can be very, very frustrating. But what I normally do when I encounter this, especially when I'm working with Gemini, is I just copy the prompt which I took, right? And then I start the conversation all over again, because sometimes when it has already generated an image, if you keep prompting it on that particular image, there could be errors. It may just fall into a loop where it keeps giving you the same image over and over and over again. But we are now going to paste, we started a new chat, right? We are now going to paste the same prompt in here, where we are going to edit it, right? We are going to edit it. So we are going to generate a realistic image of zebras in a savannah setting during the daytime for a children's magazine. The image should be natural and cinematic. And then I'm going to add a restraint here, or a constraint. This image must not be a cartoon and must be like, for example, one kind of magazine image which we have available, which kind of like ties to what I'm thinking of, is images from National Geographic. National Geographic magazines, science magazines. So if you don't know, for example, maybe something specific like National Geographic for the use case which you're trying to get the image for, maybe you could just say something like Science Magazine. You could look for a global, you know, a global example, right? So the image must not be a cartoon and must resemble a um magazine style science magazine style image of real zebras in the wild, right? So that's my editing. The first thing I did was I told it I wanted the image to be realistic, and then I told it I didn't want the image to be cartoonish, because when it's cartoonish, it's not that the cartoon image is bad, but that's not just what I have in mind. Let's see what we're gonna get with our new prompt. Hopefully it's gonna be something which is worth. Yeah, okay. Now this is a great image, right? Your images generated by Gemini always come with this logo to show it's AI generated, right? This is a great image. I like the mountain in the background. I like the way the zebras are. I just like it's amazing, but this is not really something which I had in mind. I'm going to add more information, provide more context to get a better image, right? So I'm going to say, first of all, I'm going to let it know that this is good, or this is great, or this is towards what I was thinking of, right? So I'm going to say great. This is almost there, right? So I'm letting it know this is a good start, but it is not yet at the point where I would like, or it's not yet at the point where I would like it to be. So let's do some more. For example, right, I want a picture I can definitely use in the magazine, and I want the zebras to be kind of close up. I want it to have like many zebras in the background, but the image should kind of like focusing on one zebra with its head up, right? And I would like there to be maybe a river in part of the background, right? Now I'm just going to add that context in my prompt so that Gemini can improve the image. I don't want to have to do this with ChatGPT, because ChatGPT takes quite a long time while generating images. I could put in a prompt and then have to wait for a long time to get it to generate. But I think we are going to try using Sora. Maybe Sora moves faster. I've not tried it, but let's see how it goes anyway. So let me improve my prompts and then we see this. Great, this is almost there. The image should show a close up of the zebra herd with one zebra, or let me just say with there being with the image focusing on one zebra from the side as the zebra looks over to the left of the image, right? As the zebra looks over to the left of the image. Also include a river in the background. And increase the size of the zebra herd. Now this is the improvement, right? I just need to add the restraints which I gave before so that the AI agent doesn't go overboard. Remember, this image is for a Science magazine. I can say science magazine because science magazine is more in line with the image I'm looking for. If I say children's magazine, it may do another cartoon like image, and that's not what I want. Remember, this image is for a science magazine and must look realistic. um must look realistic, cinematic, and professional, right? So I'm just going to read the prompt one more time, and then we're going to see. Let me just read the prompt one more time. Great, this is almost there, right? The image should show a close-up of the zebra head, with the image focusing on one zebra from the side as the zebra looks over to the left of the image. Also include a river in the background and increase the size of the zebra head. Remember, this image is for a science magazine and must look realistic, cinematic, and professional, right? So I'm just going to send that, and then we're going to wait for it to respond. While it's responding, I'm going to prompt ChatGPT with this same prompt, and then we're going to see what ChatGPT is going to give as an output. ChatGPT would definitely take a little bit more time in generating its response. That's just the way it is when you're on a free plan. All right, now this is something which is more in line with what I was looking for, and I really like it a lot. It's really more in line. I like the river. I like the fact that this zebra here is on focus, and looking at it, you can't really tell that this image was generated using ChatGPT or AI, but the logo here definitely sells it, so you know it was created by an AI agent. Now, one difficulty I've definitely found with using AI agents to generate images is asking them to increase the size of the image. That has always been some sort of a challenge for me, and I don't know why they find it challenging to do that. Maybe it may just be something in their programming, I don't know. But ChatGPT is still generating the image. It still hasn't gotten there. We're going to keep waiting for it to generate the image. Wow. One more thing I want to do, right? I want to run a test. I want this image to be wider. The way it is, it's kind of like a square with the rounded edges and all of that. I don't like it in that form. I don't like it in that manner. I'm going to ask Gemini to extend the size of the image, make the zebra which is in focus, let the zebra be fully shown from its head to its tail, and then let the image be expanded to be in a 16:9 format, right? 16:9 format is landscape. That's when you set your phone on the side, while when you set your phone upright, you have 9:16, and 9:16 is portrait. Is the portrait size of images, right? So I'm just going to add that in my next prompt, and here is what I'm going to include. Great. Remember, I always have to give this feedback loop to allow the AI agent to know whether it is along the line of what I want or not. If it is along the line, I let it know. If this is totally not what I wanted, then I'll have to let it know that this is not what I want, right? So I'm going to say, great. One more thing, and then I'm gonna do this, right? So make the zebra in focus to appear to be fully in frame, right? I have to be careful with my language, because if I say appear, it may change to something sci-fi, science fiction. I'm not trying to build something science fiction, right? So make the zebra in focus to be fully in frame and shown from its head to its tail. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to cancel this stop response and then click on edit response. I mistakenly clicked on the enter button, right? Make the zebra in focus to be fully in frame and shown from its head to its tail, right? Full stop. Then also make the image have an aspect ratio of 16 by 9. 16 by 9. In what other way would I like to improve this image? Well, I think it's okay. And also make the image have an aspect ratio of 16 by 9. Right. Then I'm going to always end with that clause. Remember, this image is for a science or a scientific magazine and must be real and cinematic, right? That clause always has to be there so that the AI agent doesn't, escape and then does something which I don't want, right? So the name of the tool is Nano Banana. That's the name of the tool. So we see that it kind of gave us the same thing, and once it starts giving you the same thing, you just have to stop. You can't continue with this whole particular chat again. Just what I do is I download the file and then start a new chat, right? And then now upload that file or upload that image and then work with it. Let's see what ChatGPT has given. ChatGPT's image is great. It shows a family of 3 zebras. It seems, in my opinion, to be more realistic and more cinematic. It appears to be like more of a real photo, in my opinion, than what we had from Gemini or from Nano Banana, right? I'm just gonna let it know. Great. You're almost there, right? You're almost there. And then here are the improvements I'm gonna make. Expand the herd to hundreds of zebras with one zebra fully in frame, focused from its head to its tail, right? And then what else am I gonna do? Also make the image an aspect ratio of 16 by 9, right? The image must be cinematic and realistic for a science journal or for a science magazine. They are kind of similar, maybe not be the same thing, but they're kind of similar. Now, since we started a new chat, we are back to Nano Banana with Gemini. We started the new chat. We are just going to upload that image and then see how it goes. Now, I'm going to ask it to expand this image into a 16 by 9 aspect ratio image with the zebra in focus, fully in frame from its head to its tail. So yeah, and then I'm just gonna add the clause. This image should be cinematic and realistic for a science magazine. For a science magazine, it should be cinematic and realistic for a science magazine. Let's send that and then we're going to wait for the response. It's likely going to be still in the same square ratio, but anyhow, let's hope it's not going to be like that. So let's see. Now, ChatGPT really gave something better. and ChatGPT uses Sora, by the way. I like this. I really like this. This is great content. It's great quality. It basically captures what I was looking for, and I can basically use this to do, whatever I want. Let's say I was doing a children's magazine. Maybe the only thing which I would say is flip the zebra from to be looking to the left instead of the right. I think that's the only last thing I'm going to say, and you can definitely do that if you want, right? So let's see what Gemini has come up with. Now Gemini has kind of made the image to be 16 by 9, and the zebra is kind of like fully in frame, but it's not really what I was expecting. But anyway, it's still good, it's still usable. But I think what ChatGPT provided for me for my use case is just an overall better image. The only thing is I'd have to say move the zebra to look, change the zebra to look towards the left, or to be facing the left rather than be facing the right. So I can definitely do that. That's going to take quite a lot of time, and I don't want to do that, right? So now we are going to go to phase 2, where I'm going to look at how to use these same tools to kind of like create flyers and promotional materials. So this is not going to be long. I'm just going to walk you through my own thinking process when I'm using ChatGPT or AI agents to produce images, flyers, and all of that, right? Now let's say I'm trying to market a product, an apple, right? I'm trying to market a product, an apple. I am a food company. I'm trying to market an apple to teens, and I want it to look like, I want to kind of like create a link between the food, the apple which I'm selling, and then maybe the apple food, right? I want that my branding and my flyer to actually have that link and to show it, so that my teens, or my target audience, which are teens in this case, should be able to kind of like correlate the connection, or make the connection between the phone, their Apple phone, and the Apple product. Let's say it's a brand of, let's just say I want to market apples, to make apples to appeal more to young people, right? Now I'm just going to do that by walking you through this thought process. Now we are going to use our framework. Remember, viewpoint, intent, style, use case. We have viewpoint, intent, style, use case, audience, and then lighting / details, right? Now let's do that. So I want to, you can definitely use personas, but you don't need to. I want to build a flyer using AI to market red apples by, let's say, Exona. It's a fictional company anyway. Let's just say the apple fruit. Yeah, I'm just gonna say the apple fruit, right? I want to market red apples by Exona to teens in the, for example, let me say in Rwanda, right? To teens let me say in the US, because in the US I want the flyer to show my branding, which is just the company name, and then I'm going to put Exona still in bracket, and the flyer should demonstrate a correlation between apple fruits and the latest, and let me say, and the iPhone 16, for example, right? And the iPhone 16 generates three image generation prompts. Now I'm just, rather than saying generate three image generation prompts, I'm going to ask generate three ideas for these flyers that would resonate with my target audience. That would resonate with my target audience. Generate three image just fixing the typos. Generate three ideas for this flyer that would resonate with my target audience. Right? Let's go through the framework. What's the viewpoint? I'm going to fill that. Let's make sure that our prompt actually ticks all our boxes. We have number one, viewpoint. There's no viewpoint here. I'm just going to add that the flyer will be seen on social media and add materials. Yeah, let me just say add materials, right? Now we have our viewpoint. The second is the intent. What's the intent? The intent is for marketing, right? I said I want to build a flyer using AI to market Red Apples. That's the intent. Then what is the style? I can definitely add the style, or I can allow ChatGPT to generate a style for me because I'm prompting it to give me three ideas. In those three ideas, it could generate the style, right? But I want to focus on the style. I would say the flyer style should be minimalistic and cinematic. So for example here, I have chosen my style and I want it to be minimalistic. Minimalistic is the modern design, let's say the modern design theme or the modern design version of most designs today, where everything is not crowded, everything is just basic but beautiful, plain colors. You don't have a lot of mix in colors. You have kind of like just the colors blend in an interesting way, but they are not many, and everything, you find a lot of space and you find things, it's just minimalist, right? That's where the word minimalistic comes from. And then we have let's check again. We have the viewpoint is there, we have our intent is there, we have our style is there, then we have our use case. Our use case is marketing, ad materials and all of that. And then we are going to have our audience. Our audience is there, and then our lighting. The lighting and the details, I'm going to leave that alone and allow the AI chatbot to basically decide on what would be the best details for the design, right? Since I asked it for three ideas, right? Let's see the ideas it's going to come up with. Now I'm using ChatGPT back to do this whole idea generation process. I have found that in my experience, using ChatGPT to do this is basically better. But we can definitely use Gemini and see how it's going to perform. For this, I would definitely want to use the thinking model because the thinking model is better and its results would be more in-depth and would not just be lightheaded, right? I'm going to prompt it with the same prompt, and then we're going to kind of like compare the results of one or two prompts or of one or two ideas it gives, right? Now we have visual concept: a single glossy red apple floating in a dark cinematic background. The apple is like a product launch reveal. Subtle reflection underneath like a premium tech ad, tiny light particles or glow halo. Apple's position like a phone product review shot. Clean typography, simple to Apple event posters, minimal UI style text, and then text layout Exona. Upgrade your byte, iPhone 16 energy, natural power, feels like a tech drop, something like that. Then we have battery 100% natural. These are the ideas it's giving. I don't want to read all through these ideas, but I'm going to ask you to turn each of these ideas into separate three prompts on separate three windows which are ready for copying and pasting. Right now, turn each of these ideas into a separate prompt for AI to generate the image. Each prompt should sit in a separate window ready for copy and paste, right? Now we're going to see here we have the original Apple intelligence. That's the concept, natural progress. Now we have these three ideas. I'm just going to give the same prompt to Gemini, and then we're going to see what response it's going to give. We have now this is the first prompt which we are getting. This is the first prompt, the second prompt, and the third prompt. Now the reason why I asked you to do it this way is because I can easily come here and just come and copy and then paste the prompt, and we're going to see the results like live, right? So I want to kind of keep them separate. Let's see what Gemini is going to do here. Oh thanks. Let's see this first image, and then we are using Google Nano Banana. We're using Nano Banana for that, right? And then I would say I kind of prefer using Nano Banana to generate images, like, because the images are kind of better. No, not because the images are generally better, but it's because the images are free, and I don't need a subscription. And well, anyway, that's one of the reasons why. Now this is the first picture which we have of the prompt by ChatGPT. In my opinion, this is great. Upgrade your bite. Very, very minimalistic. We have the branding, everything is, we have, it's a great flyer, right? Let's look at this one, the second prompt, and then let's see what it comes up with. Then after, we are going to go to the prompts by Gemini, and then we are going to look at the various images and the results we're going to get. All right, let's see this one. We have upgrade your bite, recharge different. Now this one is not really what I was expecting, because it's kind of like selling the phone instead of the Apple. For this first case, I would say upgrade your bite is good, but I don't really see the correlation between this Apple and the Apple brand, the iPhone brand. So I would say maybe over 10, maybe I'll give this like an 8, or maybe like a 7. Let's see the results we get from our final prompt by ChatGPT. Hopefully this one is better. And then we're going to do the same thing with the prompts for Gemini. And by the way, using Nano Banana to generate AI, to generate images is faster, right? It's faster. Now this looks more better, and it really actually creates the correlation. We have Exona, the real Apple since forever. This is actually crazy. Maybe this, right, the real Apple since forever, it's really great, because it's kind of like putting a comparison and showing the two products side by side. But the issue is, it's kind of like contrasting them, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted there to be a correlation where the Apple brand, the Apple iPhone brand, supports the Exona brand of apples, right? The Exona brand, and then their product of apples. But here it seems more like a contrast between the two products, and that was not really what I was looking for. But if I want to rate these images, I would say these images are top notch, and they are very, 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 very accurate. They kind of describe the minimalistic vibe I was going for. This one definitely looks like it was generated by AI, and any person can just call this out and be like, oh, this was generated by AI, and all of that, right? But now let's evaluate what we've got from Gemini Let's see. Let's look at the responses we've got. Now, while we are doing this, we're going to try to generate the same responses with ChatGPT. Let's see the kind of response ChatGPT is going to give, the kind of image we're going to get from ChatGPT. Let's see here. Now look at this Exona. Now this is a more accurate image of what I was looking for, where we have the Apple product, the Apple iPhone product, and then we have an Apple. The Apple iPhone very much supports the Apple product which the company wants to release. We see this floating window, we see fiber 4.5 grams, zero latency, 100% organic processing. It's an amazing show. It uses the iPhone brand to kind of like strengthen the Exona product which the brand wants to release, right? This prompt is, to me, I would say maybe it's a 10 out of 10. We see the branding, we see it's just amazing, right? Then we're going to check the second idea. The reason why we generate a lot of images and we use like more than one is to cycle through and see what we get. Now this is the same thing. Now we have Exona, upgrade your bytes. This is the ChatGPT prompts being generated by ChatGPT. Look at this image. This image is amazing. It's cool. It kind of like gives you the Apple vibe of the iPhone being released, right? But I don't really see so much correlation, apart from the fact that it looks like it's a launch of an Apple product. But let's keep cycling through. I'm gonna go straight to the third one because the second one kind of sucked. At least when we did it with Nano Banana, I kind of sucked. Let's see the second. This is our second idea by Gemini. We have one image. It's kind of like using the camera angles. We have on the left, we have apples in the garden or in a field or in a farm. Then on the right, we have a zoom in image of the apple. Then we have Exona. This could definitely serve as marketing. We have crispness 100%. This could definitely serve as a side, maybe marketing, maybe something which you can send online and do what you're looking for. But it would not really serve as a main flyer for the brand, right? But it can serve as a supporting image. I would say overall this maybe could be like a 5 or 6 out of 10. It's not bad. How does it incorporate the Apple iPhone brand into this? Maybe the camera, and maybe it kind of resonates, but I'm not so sure anyway. Let's see what we have here from ChatGPT. We have the iPhone on the left, we have the Apple on the right, we have Exona, the real Apple, since forever. It's still kind of bringing a competition between the two products, but in my opinion, putting it this way, it kind of shows well, it kind of like uses the popularity of the Apple iPhone to sell the Exona Apple product, which, well, it's still a win for me. Then finally, let's see what we are gonna get with the second prompt. I hope it's gonna be better than what Nano Banana did, or what we got from Nano Banana. Oh, I had not. All right, so I think I just used the same prompt basically. I'm supposed to use a third prompt, right? Okay, so let's see what we get with this. Hopefully it's gonna be better. If it's better than the first one, that would be amazing. If it's not better, well, the first one is still kind of like great. Then let's see what we are getting with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is taking a little amount of time to generate the image. All right, let's see. Wow, we see this. We have Exona. We have an apple that has been chopped in the middle, and then we have the iPhone to the right. I think I kind of see the correlation here, but this is a very minimalistic design. and it doesn't really speak so much, but you can definitely see the correlation. Someone could look at this and definitely think, whoa, what is Exona all about? Why am I seeing apples? But the important thing is we are using the popularity of the Apple branding of the Apple iPhone to sell the product of apples. That's the important thing. But does this look great? Yeah, but it does not create the clear distinction I was looking for. And in my opinion, after this ideation process, I would say the overall winner was this image by Gemini. But I'm going to just use the same prompt here, the same prompt which Gemini gave me in ChatGPT, and then see whether ChatGPT is going to provide a better image. Right now, like I said, this second image, the second prompt was not what I was looking for. It is not what I was looking for. It doesn't really replicate the idea I have in mind for the product, right? Let's see what we are gonna get with ChatGPT with a third image, hopefully. Now this is from the first prompt which we got from Gemini, which produced this image with nano banana, and so I'm using this particular prompt now in ChatGPT to see what we are going to get. Hopefully it's going to be better or more or less the same, but let's see what we are going to get. Right, hopefully it's going to be better. If not, then Gemini takes the win. Nano banana takes the win, at least for this particular. All right, let's look at this. We have Exona, we have the iPhone. The iPhone is not clearly seen yet, but you can definitely tell it's an iPhone, right? Then we have the Apple on top. Then we have fiber, 4.5 grams, zero latency, 100% organic processing. The real Apple since forever. This is also definitely a good flyer in my opinion. It's a good image you can use for the launch of a product, and it really kind of like ties to the style which I wanted, minimalistic and cinematic, right? And this is just an overall great product which it's kind of aligned with the prompt which I gave, right? So basically this is how you can use AI agents to generate images, whether you want to improve images. Now we didn't definitely cover improving images so much in this particular video. Definitely, if I would say to improve images, you definitely stand a better chance at improving images when you're using ChatGPT, because Gemini sometimes it may not perform so well. That's the nano banana. Well, I would say it's because of Gemini anyway. It doesn't perform so well. You remember what we got with the zebra situation? We gave it an original picture and then we asked it to expand the picture to a 16:9 aspect ratio. This is what we got with added bars. But when we asked ChatGPT to do the same thing for a similar photo, we got so much more better results, and it was far better than what Gemini gave us, right? So it's great. ChatGPT performs better when you're using it to improve photos and Gemini less, but the important thing, or the main way to achieve all of this, is just with your prompting, right? So we've been able to generate an image of apples by Exona. That's crazy. I wonder if there's actually a company out there called Exona, and I wonder if they actually produce apples. So if you're trying to produce apples or make your branding for a product which you're trying to release, this is definitely a low-key, massive way which you can use to achieve something cinematic, similar to what if a photographer was to have accomplished this, the time which he would have spent in editing and first of all taking the pictures, first of all arranging the set, then taking the pictures, then editing. That could be in a whole day's work, but this is something which we've just done in about 30 minutes with AI and the right prompting and an iteration process, right? So you see definitely the power of AI when it comes to image generation and when it comes to improving images and so on and so forth. So definitely we can look at we can definitely have another video where we use AI to build flyers for various programs, or we can do a more deep dive maybe into editing images and maybe removing persons, basically a whole full walkthrough, right? A whole walkthrough rather on how to do that. But that's going to have to be in a separate video because we've already elapsed our time for this video for today, and we've come to the end of our lesson for today. I hope you've learned something new. I hope you've learned an insight on how to use AI for building images, generating images, various use cases. Please be very careful. Don't use this information for evil and unethical purposes, as in generating images that maybe you are going to use for malicious reasons. That's not why AI was created. Use it for genuine, good, righteous reasons, right? Okay, right. So thank you very much for being with me. I've been your host, Engineer Victory. We have come to the end of today's lesson for day 6. See you tomorrow. We're going to be covering something equally interesting and something equally amazing. Bye bye and have a great time.